What's going on, guys? It's Sean. Talking about the TSA, those ball grabbers, and how they keep America safe from terrorists, because they found millions, actually. Millions of terrorists, millions of people, millions of young kids who wanted to kill people. And I feel safer. I feel a lot safer. I'm glad $900 million or $900 billion has been spent on the TSA.
100 billion.
Oh, 100 billion. Sorry. Well, I'm glad. Matter of fact, I'd love to just hand more money over. Oh, I want them to take half my paycheck, not 35%. Take half.
And the results are great too, by the way.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. I haven't been on a plane in fucking years, which is also one of the reasons. I don't know if I'm on a watch list, but one of the reasons why I don't want to fly is because I don't want to deal with that shit.
I missed my flight because of them.
You did?
Yeah.
To where?
Last year.
Where were you going?
To Miami.
You missed your flight
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Miami last year?
Yeah. Oh, no, I ended up getting, the next plane.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, so there's a huge line,
Yeah.
and they take their fucking time touching people's balls. And, yeah, I just missed my plane by literally a minute.
Oh, my fucking...
Yeah.
That's, fucking unbelievable.
You heard about the latest news on their failure?
What you got?
Yes, I did.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about it.
Yeah, so they did an internal investigation and found the TSA failed to find mock explosives 95% of the time.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Yeah, in 67 out of 70 tests, secret DHS red team agents used insider knowledge and disguises to slip past body scanners at airport security checkpoints, carrying weapons, mock bombs, and other prohibited items. That's where the 95% failure rate comes in. So the TSA's staggering 95% failure rate was attributed to both human and technical error.
Right.
So they were able to slip by all the nifty devices.
All the cancer scanners?
Yeah. All this radiation coming off of it. Yeah, and it's like the government's plan to fix that, throw more money at it.
Oh, yeah. So 100 billion is not enough. Throw more.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking at the last episode on, the fear that, the media drives about the Muslim attack, Muslims wanting to attack us. And clearly with a failure like that, just kind of tells me with numbers like that, failure like that, if these Muslim radicals wanted to get on a plane with bombs, they could have. So all these laws that have been created with the Patriot Act, the Freedom Act, all this money that you guys are talking about spending for our safety, all because of the fear of Muslims.
And it's
with a 95% failure, sounds like bullshit to me.
And it's such an invasion on your privacy, like touching your private parts. And I know there was something happened a couple months ago where they were actually targeting like a bunch of good-looking women and
filling them up.
Yeah, and feeling them up. And yeah.
If you had a choice, would it be a hot lady or would you be grabbing somebody's old sack?
Excuse me, sir. He's like touching like his knee. I just need to feel the bottom of your ball bag.
You see that guy that took Viagra and walked in there and they had to check him because he had a bulge in his pants? So they brought him to the side and fucking, yeah.
They found out it was his cock.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, how can anybody argue that? It's kind of like...
That's the thing. It's like, here's the facts of what's going on. It ain't working. It hasn't worked. They haven't caught one fucking terrorist. And we're still going to continue paying?
Yeah.
Is that...
I know.
We're going to do the exact same thing. Just throw money. Nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to get, fixed. I mean, if we're stuck with this kind of shit, at least make sure you're able to stop fake bombs or God forbid, real bombs from getting onto a plane. It's unfathomable. The amount of money just being thrown. Like, the government's creating jobs by giving these, another alphabet agency some shit to do. I could find 100 different things off the top of my head besides filling up someone's dick. It's like
the whole jobs thing is kind of corny to me because all right, you create create something that creates jobs, but at the same time, there was somewhere down the line that something closed down that lost jobs.
It's
so
just
don't do that to say you're creating jobs. Shut up.
yeah,
it's just a redistribution of
Exactly.
of funds.
It's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah.
this is besides the fact that government really can't create anything because they're not like.
They can't create jobs. They take money from one
Yeah.
person and give it to another. It's
Oh my god. And anybody have any idea what to do about it? Like, people go and they'll lobby and they'll be like,
they're definitely not popular.
yeah.
So
but
I
it's
mean,
like-
I don't get. I mean, the media doesn't really help at all with
Oh
that.
no, yeah. that-
So
No, as long as people are scared to death of being attacked.
yeah, but they don't like the TSA. The people don't like the TSA.
No, I know.
It's not even about fear right now. They don't like the TSA.
The people don't like the politicians and the government either, but they still go out and vote.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I think it's because
they just keep bringing up the safety fucking line. It's for your safety. This is for your safety, and that's how they try to justify it.
And it's not. Yeah, but when the facts show that it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, if the government had any fucking brains, they'd be like, all right, well, this is not working. Let's try to make something at least look like it's working so the people continue to want and continue to back us. But they don't even care anymore.
Let me ask you guys something. You see a 95% failure rate, and they do, supposedly this is all done for the fear of Muslim attacks. And you see a 90% failure rate. I asked both of you guys, do you guys really think that the Muslims in here want to attack you like that? And if they did, wouldn't they have?
Yeah, that's why my opinion, and we were talking about this before the podcast, like, no one's claiming that, no one's saying that the government did it, but that they might have a hand in it. I'll come out right out and say, I think the government knew about it. They wanted it to happen. They were looking to get into the Middle East for a while, and they just needed a reason.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sugarcoat how I think about it. I didn't say feelings because nobody cares about your feelings.
Yeah,
But,
I wouldn't sugarcoat it either, man. Like, I'm not a detective. I wasn't there. I'm not inside, so I don't know exactly who was behind it or whatever. But, I mean, as far as the 9/11 story that, it was Bin Laden and all this, I definitely question it. I mean, and the
I don't
more you
question
go
it.
into
I know
it,
it's bullshit.
well, yeah, I know that. I know that story is bullshit.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I'm saying I question what happened.
Yeah, you're not going to
That
pretend
day.
like you know what happened.
Yeah,
but-
I'm not gonna pretend.
yeah.
Like, you hear people, it was Bush. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it was one guy either, or it was Bush. Like, calm down with that.
Yeah, I think that there
But,
was a lot of people who were involved.
But the one thing you'll hear people say is like, why would they have done that? Why would 9/11 be an inside job? And it's like, really? Look at it. If it wasn't for 9/11, people wouldn't be so scared and angry. And look how much they were able to get done.
Yeah.
From
Research Operation Northwoods. It's declassified that the government will start a fake terrorist attack for to push an agenda or for whatever special interest they have.
Yeah.
That was during Kennedy's time.
There's a reason why everything happens the way it happens. There's no, like, you can't just first off, if two planes, or how many fucking planes were there total? You had the Pentagon and,
Yeah, 4.
right, so four planes flying off a flight plan. If they're not on the radar, you start working on where they went, what's going on. If they are on the radar and they, move away from their flight plans, you're instantly contacted by, air traffic. It's like, what's going on? Why are you guys, going off your flight plan? And like Brian said, there's so many documents that are declassified that'll tell you how much fucked up shit. I mean, like MK Ultra,
MK Ultra.
Northwoods. Yeah. Yeah, you're about to say MK Ultra.
Yeah.
And if you don't look for it, well then you're not gonna.
And that stuff won't be on the media.
Yeah, no way, no way.
Well, at least not the mainstream
Yeah,
media.
mainstream.
Because
Yeah.
clearly first of all, clearly there is media out there that does tell you the news, and you should go out there and research it yourself, or read it the opposite or whatever. But yeah, definitely not in the mainstream media, because I mean it's not like we do investigative reporting here. There is news outlets out there that
Notice
that
how
are doing
like
investigative
how like
stories.
everyone around the world, they're like very knowledgeable, except for the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, like their media is actually like somewhat legit.
Yeah, like if
And
you
you
watch
see, like-
BBC
Yeah, and
or
you see
even
like people
Al
actually
Jazeera.
rise up against the governments, and these people don't have like any way to defend themselves. Like they don't even have guns, let's say, or whatever.
Yeah, like Europe, you
Yeah.
can't. They're like outlawing knives and shit.
Yeah.
Like steak knives aren't like allowed or some
Didn't
shit.
Egypt
Like
like a year or two ago revolt against the government?
that. Yeah, I mean you've had multiple.
Oh, well, yeah.
Like they have like legitimate news out there.
Yeah,
And these people are actually smart.
yeah.
That's why they call Americans dumb.
Oh yeah, they mock us, and
Yeah.
can you really blame them?
No,
No, you can't.
people are so they don't even know, and they don't even care.
No, they
They care about Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, no.
and it's like, dude, there's so much shit going on outside of your little reality TV world, and you don't care, and that's what's.
Or like the biggest thing now is Caitlyn Jenner.
But, like the media plays a big part of that in this country. Like in Iran, I know. So what's Bruce Jenner's name?
Caitlyn Jenner, I think, right? Is it Caitlyn?
Yo,
No, it was.
do you think-
Catalina is?
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't know,
Bruce
something
Jenner's
like
name.
that.
Yo, do you think that Bruce is hot?
What?
God,
No?
I don't want to talk about
Dude,
No.
you have a weird fantasy, bro.
The only way I know this, I'm gonna be honest, because I don't watch mainstream TV. The only way I know this is by in the morning when I go in the store to get a coffee. Bruce Jenner and Catalina is on the front page of like these newspapers, which is mind blowing.
Yeah, that's top news, man. That's the most important
Yeah.
thing going on.
But wait, I gotta revert. No, I don't think that Bruce is hot. I'm asking you if you thought he was hot. No, I didn't say I thought he was hot. I was just asking. I mean, on Vanity Fair, I've seen a lot of uglier women than Bruce or Caitlyn, like out in like the street and shit. I mean, I'm sure makeup and all this other crap makes him look good, but like it's
I heard Dennis Rodman wants to be his first girlfriend.
yeah. I heard
Or
that
her.
too. Did you hear that, Ed?
Yeah, beast mode there.
Did you hear that?
Nah, dude, I don't really.
Yo, it's fucked up.
I'm sure it is. Like,
I mean, but
the
you know what?
only way I know
Who am I?
the Bruce Jenner Catalina is because it's like on the front page of the newspaper at the.
Yeah, I don't
In
give
a
a fuck
friggin'
what he wants
store.
to do with his body. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I don't
just,
care either.
It's just that it's top news, and it just like overshadows like all the
So
horrible things
much
that go on.
shit.
Yeah,
So much shit.
and people care about Bruce Jenner
Well,
and
you
not
know
fucking how the government fucking rapes you.
Yeah.
You were just saying how like other news outlets will report real news, and it's funny because when you take Iran, the last election when Ahmadinejad, I'm sure I'm pronouncing his name wrong,
You're
but when
probably
he
murdering
won, you had the riots going out there because your average Iranian was like he stole this election, and you had big riots going out there. I mean, I remember looking it up, and he allowed he had his military go out. Like you had people protesting after that, and he had people coming in with the car and just like ramming people, all these protesters. And the American media didn't cover that. The American media wasn't showing that how the average Iranian knows that their government is in control by the Ayatollah. They did not want that. They didn't agree with the last elections. But our media doesn't play that. And then it's funny because the same went down in Hugo Chavez. They had like a handful of people. supposedly the CIA or whatever, the American government hired because he didn't want to give he made sure all of his resources there that came out of his country went back to his people. He became that kind of dictator where he wanted everything going back to his country. He doesn't want it in American special needs. He wanted American corporations to come in there and take over his resources.
Yeah, but how was
now
the
what they
media?
did, they staged because he was overthrown for a little while. Remember, they took him out by saying the people in his country wanted him out. No, it was just a handful of people. But the media could sit there and show it, making it look like thousands
millions,
of people wanted it. And then when they did take him out, then the people really stepped up and was like, "No, we didn't. This didn't happen." And he wound up getting power back, But American media did not want to show that. The American media just showed him as an evil person in a different way because he wasn't working with the American government.
That's just like Saddam. Mad people wanted Saddam to stay in power, but because I think the main reason why we off Saddam was because Saddam wanted to remove, he wanted to back his currency by gold, and America was.
Wasn't that Yemen? The guy when they bombed Yemen a couple years ago. I thought that was him.
I know it was. I know that Saddam.
Yeah, the minute Saddam went against, Saddam was a puppet. America.
Yeah, we put him in.
Place, yeah, and the minute he was going against America, that was it.
Yeah.
But what's funny?
Same thing with Gaddafi.
They made him out to be the biggest threat. Saddam Hussein. But when we put him in power, when America put him in power, they put him in power in fear of Iran at the time. And we America supported and wanted him to go after Iran. But what he did was he's a military moron. His strategies are terrible. He never won a war. And what he did is he took all the military equipment that we gave him and he went and attacked this country, all of them. He just rushed them. And what happened was at the time in Iran, the Ayatollah told the Iranians, we're being attacked. Every woman and child's going to grab a weapon, and we're going to, protect our front line. We're going to attack them. And they just kept sending, the Iranians after them no matter what. And you're not taking over a country like that. Saddam didn't do it strategically. He lost, most of his weapons and most of his military, very quickly. And Iran, beat him.
Yeah.
Well, we put him in power over there. So my point was a strategic moron.
My point is this, though. Our media made Saddam out to be like this horrible person, which I think that he was. But they didn't give the truth of the reason why we were going after Saddam. And that was because Saddam wanted to beg themselves from the U.S. dollar.
I thought it was because of weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, that's what the media will tell you. But no, it's about... The media is going to tell you what our government wants them, to tell you. And then the truth of the matter is Saddam wanted to back his currency by a legitimate, tangible item. And when I say America, I don't mean it as America. I mean it as the government. I don't care. If the people under Saddam want to rise up against him, be my guest. Like you just said,
they were about to.
Well, that's the thing, and it's like we go in there, kill our own because we're sexies, and remove this guy that a lot of people liked actually.
Before America went to take Saddam out, the regime, his close regime, they were actually plotting. They were preparing to take him out. Anyway, because of the dictator.
But regardless, the people under Saddam, it's up to them to handle it. We shouldn't be meddling in these fucking affairs. No, it costs us. We don't have the money. Number one, it's costing us lives. It's costing us money, and they're not attacking us. And while this is like a worldwide issue, as far as like, at least I feel, like governments and stuff, like we can't control everything. And when you do, you're spreading yourself so thin. And you're becoming a dictator for the entire planet. It's just It's too much, man.
Yeah, one of the funniest selling
And then they're
points
putting
too-
they're trying to put in whatever democracy want or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
forcing a government
that's
onto these people.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? When this guy whoever they put, and the fucking Middle East is fucked up so much worse now because of them in our government. Whoever they end up putting in, if he doesn't play ball, they're gonna do the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
And the media's gonna say, he's got weapons of mass destruction. He's touching little boys.
He's
so
trying
let's
to make
get rid
nukes.
of him. Yeah.
After the whole weapons of mass destruction selling point, you said it too with democracy. I remember, they were being slammed with the question, where are these weapons of mass destruction? Where, and then all of a sudden, this point was, to spread democracy.
Yeah.
Because,
It flipped.
Yeah.
It
and
flipped.
it's funny because in that region's always been very sensitive because it's a religious region, the whole Middle East. So it's a very sensitive area. So I remember that whole selling, to spread democracy. I can tell you, democracy doesn't work. And a perfect example of democracy not working, especially with religious people, is take a look at down in Rockland County, the East Ramapo School District area. That's a democracy. You have the Orthodox Jews in there, right? So they, by an election, you elect to be on the school board. So by majority, they all came out to vote. The Hasidics came out to vote, voted their people into the board. Now they're on the board of the education, and they're sitting there, stripping the education system down to nothing, and people are fighting over it, upset. That's but guess what? They're playing by the rules in a way, because that's your democracy. They got the popular vote. They're in there. It's your system. They're playing by the system, and that's just an example of how, in this country with democracy, with radical, with religious people, it doesn't work. What makes you think it's gonna work in the Middle East? Spread democracy, really?
Democracy doesn't work in any form, whether it's religious or non-religious. I mean.
No doubt, but
When
I'm just
it's
giving you an
51
example in this country how it doesn't work in this country. That you think your selling point is that spreading democracy in the Middle East?
Yeah.
After you didn't find weapons of mass destruction? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just giving an example. I agree with you, Sean. It doesn't work, period. But I'm giving you an example of how it backfired in a town in this country.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as religion goes, when we go overseas and we're like, you're absolutely right, that the Middle East has been torn for, they're at war with themselves, like you said before. So it's like you're gonna try to control them, bring a democracy in. It's not gonna work. No. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It doesn't work here. It doesn't work anywhere. So, what the fuck is the point? Oh, I know what it is. You want their shit. Yeah. That's the real reason behind it. I mean, you want the oil, you want the control, and oh god, just a fucking. It gives me a headache, man. And how come people don't put two and two together? To me, this shit's simple.
People don't care.
No, they don't. They care about the Kardashians. Yeah. They care about Jenner. They care about oh, they fucking have a new baby? Oh, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and as much as I like sports and follow sports, like some of these guys that bump into it, they'll like watch ESPN for like 6 hours straight.
Oh yeah, Sports Center. That's it.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, really, bro? Yo, how many times you gotta listen to Tom Brady talk about winning the? I get it. I watched the game. Super Bowl's over. You won. Now let me watch 2 weeks of Tom Brady talking about his ring. Like,
I don't know, man. Anyway, so the TSA is fucked up. I know we kind of went off, but I think this all ties together, because the whole spreading democracy, making sure everybody's safe, making sure that everyone's vote counts, and all this other bullshit. Attempting to, like, say we're safe. We're spending $900 billion, or is it million?
100 billion on the TSA so far.
100 billion?
100 billion on the TSA since it started.
Oh my god!
They've spent on the TSA.
Yeah, because it's been what, 14 years?
Yeah, it's been 100 billion.
$100 billion in 14 years. 0 terrorists.
Yeah.
caught, 95% fail rate at capturing any amount of mock, explosives. I mean, when are we going to learn this doesn't work? You could fucking put private security in there, and I think it would work better.
It would definitely be more efficient.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have missed my flight.
But you know what? Here's the thing. If it didn't work, we could just get rid of them and be like, "Oh, you guys have a 95% failure rate.
Yeah.
Get out." We're not
These
paying you.
airlines are forced to have the TSA,
Yeah.
so they can't even.
They can't do anything
Yeah,
about
it just hurts their business.
Exactly. And I'm sure that it makes people want to drive more than fly. I'm not saying it hurt them that much, but you're deterring customers because of an intrusion. It doesn't
I'm with
work.
you guys. Like, I mean, you rob the money from us as is, and you spend it on whatever you spend it on. So, like you just said, I'm with you. I'm pissed off at $100 billion in 14 years
$100 billion.
for no results. But I'm more pissed off that failure rate just kind of proves everything is bullshit.
It proves government.
Like,
government's
it proves
a failure.
that it just proves that everything that they've done in the last 14 years have been because of Muslim attacks, and a 95% failure. If the Muslims really wanted to attack, clearly they could have. So all of it's bullshit.
Yeah, this is why I'm on the side of that the Muslims, that the government puts Muslims where they want them. Muslim, quote unquote, terrorists, not all Muslims, but the government puts whoever they want where they want. They make them attack when they want. They make up these false flags when they want.
Yeah.
And that's how they get us to say, okay, we'll hand you more. We'll hand you more of our freedoms for quote unquote safety.
Meanwhile, anyone could just cross the border.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no problem. Which, I mean, I'm not for it. I'm for open borders. But.
No, yeah, but I mean, in the day and age that we're living in, it's just like they are the people behind all this shit. There is no like boogeyman terrorist that's gonna come over here and fly over here. If they wanted to, they would have by now.
You're more likely to get killed by a cop than a terrorist.
Yeah.
Listen, there's clearly, we said it before, there's clearly radical Muslim groups. But all I'm saying is stop using them. Stop acting like they're our number one enemy.
When they're not.
And when clearly this failure just kind of proved that they're not our number one enemy.
They're just pushing
If they
their
were, they
middle-
would have
their
attacked.
agenda.
They
Their
would have
Middle East
attacked
agenda.
by now. Yeah, so stop using that as your fear. Like, that is their number one, fear of getting the Patriot Act passed. Open up Gitmo. Any of these things they're doing.
Yeah, so they give us this Patriot Act for like the NSA.
Yeah.
Anyone could be deemed a terrorist and be sent to Guantanamo.
Yo, over 1 million United States citizens
Right.
are on a terrorist watch list, not like a watch list like like on a terrorist watch list. And it's
I think we taken away. The Patriot Act allows them just to take people away.
Yep.
Listen, what they did was they declared war on terrorism.
That's
now,
a
that word
ghost war.
Terrorism is very bold. You
Right.
can sit there and say, by definition, the Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, is a terrorist by definition.
Dude, questioning the government is like you're a domestic terrorist.
Yeah, you could
If you
automatically
even question, yeah.
I mean, it's so broad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell kind of war is that? That's like saying, we're at war. I mean, it's kind of corny, but we're at war with a sports fan. All right, there's a lot of sports fans here. We're at war with terrorists. Anybody could be called a terrorist. Anyone could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just too bold.
Yeah, they just throw that word around and
yeah.
use it to their advantage.
The media, by definition, are terrorists. Terrorists is to use and spread fear.
Well, terrorists, by definition, is a group of individuals who use a form of force to get their agenda on another group of people.
I believe fear is in there somewhere too.
I'm not sure about that, but so by definition, our government is
Right, a terrorist group.
A terrorist group. Everybody would be, if you're using force or fear to get somebody to do something, you are terrorizing them. Yeah, cops.
Right.
That's the bottom line. So they throw these words around, and if nobody's interested in like looking for like what all this shit actually means, and you're just kind of like, okay, well, I like my Kardashians and I like my sports, so I'm just going to deal with that, and I'll let the government handle it, when they are by definition a form of terrorism. Don't you see a problem with that at all? And are you willing to do anything about it?
Yeah, but the government tells them they're free.
Yeah, free as long as you don't. You need a mic. Sorry, Holly.
Picture I saw last week of the guy.
Holly, you need a mic. What are you doing?
Well, real quick, the Webster definition for terrorism is the use of violent acts to frighten the people in an area as a way to try to achieve a political goal.
Whoa, if that don't sound like the government.
So again, when you have the war on terrorism is to use violent acts to, frighten the people, to use, pretty much to use fear. I mean, you don't have to necessarily do the violent act, but racism, the way the media uses that.
Yeah, they're promoting fear. So is the media a terrorist organization? By definition?
By definition,
yeah.
Because all they do, that's my opinion. I feel like by definition the media is.
How about the TSA? I'm in fear of them grabbing my shit. I'm nervous.
Well, I feel. I mean, I think the media really goes out of their way a lot more. Like, you're just scared when you go to approach the TSA.
Yeah,
but
or
the media goes out of their way.
Yeah.
To use
that's the form of
to frighten the people in an area.
That's the form of communication from the government.
Goal.
That's the form of communication by the government.
Yeah.
They use the media.
Propaganda.
Yeah.
Terrorism is propaganda.
That is exactly.
So it's very bold. The war on terrorism.
Well, that's just like
when that happened. I'm like, all right, who we fighting?
Yo, that's just like the war on drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are you fighting? Who are you fighting?
Drugs?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you cocaine.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw you in jail, Mr. Block of Cocaine.
Anybody that looks or sounds like marijuana is gonna get locked up.
Gonna get the billy club out. Oh man.
All you drugs are going down.
That's the problem. You can't wage war on something that you don't have an actual enemy on.
Yeah. The war on drugs, I don't see them going after pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, number one killer is pharmaceutical drugs.
Yeah. The war on drugs. The war on terrorism.
That's too broad. Like, when you go to war, you're supposed to be like, okay, we're going to war with blank, whoever it is, whoever, not what, but a who.
Yeah.
Like you have an actual enemy that you're going up against. This broad. I remember there was.
It's almost like the video game of WoW. Like when I was a kid. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but when
are you talking about World of?
Yeah,
Warcraft?
but when we were kids, we played video games.
What
it had
nerd.
an ending. It had an ending. Now these games like WoW, it doesn't have an ending. That's like fighting terrorism.
Yeah,
when does it end?
It's never gonna end. Just like the war. Actually,
so it works for brainless people.
We can't say that though because I want to say it was Nixon. He had the war on cancer.
Yeah, but that's like waging the war on poverty. That just sounds like a righteous thing to do.
Yeah, so does waging the war on terrorism. That sounds like the righteous thing to do, but you can't do it. You don't have an enemy. You can't wage a war on. What are you going to drop an atom bomb?
No, but I mean, I hear what you're saying. But if I hear something like, "Yo, we're gonna wage a war on poverty," I could see, all right, what are we going to do? Create soup kitchens? We're going to go out here and feed people? Like, what are you talking? Yeah.
But that's the same concept as terrorism.
Like,
welfare, bro.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who it is. Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. I think it was Nixon. I'm not sure. It was a president who said that he was waging war on cancer.
And the pharmaceutical companies make like billions of dollars off of fucking cancer.
Yeah.
Like they don't want a fucking cure.
No.
The government
not
pharmaceutical
at all.
companies.
Cancer's been cured fucking multiple times over, and
yeah,
the government they
And those
pull,
people are in jail that
Yeah.
find the cure.
they pull your doctor's license or your your PhD and you're out. Sorry,
Yeah.
They just found out also that,
you don't have a mic.
Also, like was it hemp oil and stuff like cure skin cancer? So
Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah,
of
there's a lot of studies. I
a
don't
lo-
know.
I,
I don't
uh,
know what answers or what, but a lot of stuff that are out there are always.
like there were two
put down.
doctors down in Texas. They were working together and they were able to make the mitochondria in the cancer cell. Basically, they made it attack itself,
yeah.
and every cancer cell would attack its own cell, kill it, and that would be it. And both of them got their licenses pulled because, because cancer's a huge fucking moneymaker.
yeah.
At what point though do we just? God, oh man. At what point do we say, this government thing hasn't been working out for us? The war on terror is not a real war. The war on drugs is not a
I mean,
real war.
it's starting. The liberty movement's fucking growing like crazy. You know,
Yeah.
people are starting to wake up. So
When you talk about things like
I'm just
pharmaceutical company with the food industry, and how
Monsanto?
how all these are webbed and connected, and then you guys, I guess I'm getting off topic, but then you guys get talking about the market. It's like, but when you hear all this is like tied and connected, kind of makes it sound like there's like it makes it sound like there's a handful of people in cahoots with all this,
Well, they are.
Yeah, so I mean, they're gonna be in cahoots.
Without a government?
Listen, I definitely agree. Government helps them to achieve this, but all I'm saying is they will be in cahoots even without.
Sure, they will be.
So.
The difference is,
Well, you got a better chance
there's
of fighting
good-
them.
Yeah, but there's accountability
Yeah.
without the government too.
Well,
like right now, the government's protecting
no,
Monsanto.
what do you mean by account? Do you mean you have a better chance of fighting them?
Yeah,
I don't consider that
well,
accountability.
Well,
though.
I guess not. Yeah, that was the wrong word, but like bailouts and stuff. I mean, the
Yeah,
government's
no,
bailing
yeah,
these people
definitely.
out.
They some of these existing, like I agree with you. Like we talk about the fossil fuel. I agree. If it wasn't for government, I think
We wouldn't
a
be
lot
running
of stuff
fossil
with
fuel.
The fossil fuel. Yeah, we'd probably be fossil fuel.
We'd be fossil fuel free. We
I don't know
wouldn't,
about completely free,
the
but
government
it wouldn't.
holds back
It wouldn't
technology,
be
man.
95% of the stuff we.
well, I'll tell you what.
deal
Transportation
with.
wouldn't have
No,
wouldn't
yeah, I
be
agree with you,
using
yeah.
oil. They would be using. If nothing ever happened, we'd be using alcohol.
Yeah.
Because like in the documentary Pump, Henry Ford allowed his cars to be run off of alcohol.
Yeah, his whole intention, Henry Ford, according to what you read or whatever, was, he fought when he had the cars. I mean, we talked about it. He wanted it for, your average person. He's innovative. He wanted everybody to
But the
enjoy
people-
what he had. Huh?
The people in cahoots used government to make sure that we couldn't use alcohol. So they brought in the prohibition. You know what I mean? It wasn't about drinking. It was, okay, well, we don't want these people having a cheap, reliable source of energy for their vehicles, and let's make sure we get a stronghold on that.
It's like electricity. We still have wires, and that's about over 100 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
That technology.
and who do you think's doing that? The government. If we didn't have the government, it wouldn't matter if these people were in cahoots, because they have one of two options: either adapt and bring in, because they have the money, so they can either bring in clean energy, like or clean electricity or whatever, or better things for us to use that aren't dirty and destroying the planet, or they fail. Or, the third option is they can get a military, but the overhead costs of that are so high that if you point guns at people to purchase your product, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? So,
Kind of works for government.
well, yeah, it works for government over the myth of authority.
Right.
We think that they have authority to do this to us. A private company, we know that they don't.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks that a mafia has authority over them. The difference is, are you going to stand up to them or not?
Yeah. And sometimes you can't. Even when, not that you can't, but
No, you can.
You know when you do, you're going to lose.
Right, but
So
I mean,
sometimes people just weigh it, and it's like, I'll just give in.
well, that's because governments like there wouldn't really be mafias if there was no government, because mafias do what? They play with illegal substances. They'll sell, like gambling. They'll sell prostitution. They'll sell, during the Prohibition, they were
Things
selling
that you would be able
alcohol.
to do
Yeah,
without a government.
they wouldn't be here
Yeah.
if there was no government, because everything would be legal. Like they thrive
Well,
on a black market. Is what I'm trying to say.
They wouldn't be called a mafia, is all.
But
Like
they-
they would still be here doing something like that. They still might be.
I'd
running,
open up like a gambling room,
or
like-
whatever, or it's selling, kids, or I'm not saying the mafia did, but they still, whatever's considered illegal now, is illegal. They're doing it because there's money to be made in it.
Yeah, 'cause it's a
and
black
it's
market.
only, it's only illegal because it's against the government law.
Yeah, but if there's
it
no
would
black
still-
market,
so they wouldn't be called the mafia, but they'd still be doing what they're doing.
yeah, but all right. So
Yeah,
if there's
but
no,
there's nothing wrong with gambling or having prostitution or any of that.
yeah, and if
I don't
there's
see anything wrong with it.
if there's no
Well,
government,
I
the black
mean-
market's not going to be there.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with. I mean, you're gonna say something like prostitution.
Like
there's nothing
like
wrong with
nonviolent
being,
business.
in prostitution for people who are willing to be
Yeah,
a
absolutely,
prostitute
yeah.
by their own will. Yeah. But
Or like gambling, if someone wants to gamble.
but guess what? We talk about things. When when you get into a thing that there's money to be made in it, you're going to have somebody's going to do something immoral to if there's money to be made.
Sure.
In it. You're always going to have you're going to have somebody out there who wants to have sex with a 13-year-old girl. Well, guess what? There's going to be somebody out there that's going to go and kidnap that 13-year-old girl, because if that dude's willing to pay you $10,000 and that $10,000 could better my life, then you're gonna do it.
Right. Here's the thing, though, with the
somebody
mafia.
will.
With the mafia, the government's gone. So that mafia, when the government was here, the mafia had no competition. But that gambling, that prostitution house, whatever, the mafia was like, oh, cool. The government says this is illegal, so we're going to move into this town, and we're going to make a prostitution ring because no one else is doing it.
It's a monopoly now.
That's the profit that they were getting. So you remove the government, you have lots of competition coming in, and the mafia is either going to start shooting up the place, and they're going to end up getting themselves weeded out by the public, because the public's going to be like, yo, this guy's willing to have a prostitution house and not shoot people. You want to shoot people because you don't want him as competition. We're not going to do business with you.
Well, the mafia was also, dude. The mafia also started like,
It was
if you have a
protection,
business in my neighborhood, guess what? My boys aren't going to come in there and smash up your business or do whatever, and we'll allow you to conduct business in our neighborhood
Well, that's
with
racketeering.
our protection. Yeah, but you're talking about just mafia being mafia. Like they're not just necessarily, gambling.
Well, they're not going to be.
That's not how the mafia started.
Right. But they're going to be absorbed by the market, either as private security. But that's the same thing. Listen,
private security,
that's the
right?
same thing as like these people who are in cahoots, right? The big oil industries. They're going to be absorbed by the market, whether or not they take their money and use it for cleaner energy because that's what the market wants, or they want to continue making oil. If they continue processing oil for cars, and we're not headed that way, then you're going to go out of business.
I agree with you. All I'm saying is when you said the mafia wouldn't be the mafia if it wasn't for the government, which is true. I agree with that. They wouldn't be called the mafia, and they wouldn't be doing quote-unquote illegal stuff because it wouldn't be considered illegal. But the mafia still be conducting themselves in the fact that they're conducting themselves. It might not be called the mafia, or it's not illegal what they're doing, but they'll still be like, if you want to do business in my neighborhood, you're getting taxed. We're going to come by every week, and this is what I want. If not, my goons will be over here, smash your shit up. Or if I'm not the one giving you protection, somebody else needs to, or and that's how
Right,
listen,
but that's
if you
the-
can strong arm you for money, they can strong arm you for money.
But that's
It's just
when
called
you have the
illegal
right.
because there's laws against it.
That's when you have the right to defend yourself against them.
Maybe
I mean,
but they still be conducting themselves.
Yeah,
the way they
but
conduct
There's going to be
themselves.
bad people no matter what.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, that's when we have to really understand like the non-aggression principle and cast out people who are not, interested in, being peaceful citizens. And that ties, deep into parents peacefully raising their children. I mean, it just goes a lot deeper than that. Gentlemen, we're at almost 50 minutes now. I think we're going to call it a night. What do you guys think?
Sounds good.
Yeah?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah?
Sure.
I appreciate you guys coming in. And anybody who is listening, I hope that you guys found this entertaining, to say the least. And if you are interested in any topics that you would like to have discussed, you can reach me at thefightforfreedomtoday@gmail.com. You can add me on Skype at the Fight for Freedom Today. And on Twitter, I am the FF Freedom Today. Thank you guys. I hope you all have a good night. Take care.